If you've ever felt like you're doing everything right and you're still not getting ahead, then listen up. This video is absolutely for you because here's the truth. Most people don't fail because they're lazy or because they're untalented or because they can't figure things out or they're not following the blueprint, as you hear people say. They fail because they're following a formula that was never built to help them win. But what if I told you that true success already has a blueprint and that's been sitting in front of you this entire time? What is it, Coach Kelly? The success blueprint is in the Bible. Think about that for a minute. It's been in the Bible. It's been there all along. And in this video, I'm breaking down 3 biblical principles that completely shifted my life. And I'll be honest with you, nothing started working for me until I stopped chasing it the world's way and I began to do it God's way in alignment. And I went into the overflow and abundance that the good book promises. Okay. So by the end, you'll learn 3 clear steps to help you get unstuck, to help you get aligned, and to help you finally come to a place where you start seeing the favor and the overflow over your life. So let's get into it. Let me take you back for a second. I worked for the federal government for almost 20 years. I did everything they said do. Go to college, get a good job, get married, have children. Did not happen in that order. Mind your business. They all happened. Maybe you took the same success path. That's what they told us. That's what the previous generation told us. Maybe you have the steady job, you have the benefits, you have the 401k, right? You have the retirement plan. That's what kept me stuck there. And maybe that's what's keeping you stuck there too. But it came to a point where something began to feel off. And maybe that's you right here, right now, which is why you're watching this video. I remember sitting at my desk one day and thinking, is this really it? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing in life? It's not giving me life. How can this be what I'm supposed to be doing in life, right? So one day I'd asked to work remotely because I wanted to spend more time with my kids. I wanted to get into what I really wanted to do. And in my heart, I knew that that wasn't the thing, but they told me no. They told me no, and that was a day that changed my life forever. Even though some people were already doing this was way before the pandemic, that was a wake-up call for me. I realized that I was being called to more. That changed everything for me. Is this the season that you're in right now? Is your season of life changing? The previous generation never told us about that. I realized I had to build. Think about Noah in the Bible. He had to build an ark before it rained. I did not have parental support on me leaving the government. It was not understood, right? You just don't do that. So I had to go into that next level of life. So here's takeaway number 1, what I want you to take from this video. You have an assignment. You have the assignment and you have to build it before you know what the whole thing looks like. So the first shift you need to make in understanding this is that assignment sometimes comes before the ambition and before you see what the whole staircase is going to look like. You have to be willing to be the one that takes that first step, because in the kingdom, we don't chase titles, we don't chase trophies, we chase obedience, we chase instruction, we chase being divinely assigned, we chase being chosen. Noah didn't build the ark because it was trending, y'all. He wasn't doing it for likes. He wasn't doing it for virality. David wasn't auditioning for his kingship. He was delivering bread. Promotion in the kingdom doesn't come from networking rooms, right? Get in the room, get in the room, get in the room. It does not come from networking rooms. It comes from obedience and being in that obedience alignment. Okay. Some of you are spinning your wheels trying to launch a business, and I get it, trying to launch your podcast, trying to scale a brand, but you never ask if that is what God has assigned you to do. Maybe you're looking at someone else and you're seeing it work successfully for them. So you're like, oh, let me go and do that. That's their assignment. Maybe yours is different. Maybe you're trying to follow someone else's path, but have you sat down and asked God, What is it that you want me to build? What is your assignment over my life? What have I been chosen, specifically me? Ask right now, what have I been chosen to do? Right? What's the thing that keeps tugging at your spirit? That thing that doesn't make sense on paper, but also won't leave you alone. As the song says, His goodness will chase you down. His goodness will run after you. His goodness will not let you go. That's often where your assignment is, and it's hidden. Allow yourself to sit still in a world that's so noisy, but if you don't allow yourself to sit still, you won't hear his whispers. Let's get into it. Takeaway number 2, obedience over overflow. Obedience is actually what activates the overflow. That's what I need you to get. This one thing will challenge you. Most of us have been trained to believe that success is that effort. Like the culture will tell you, I want to be booked, blessed, and busy. I only wanted 2 of those. I wanted booked and blessed. I didn't want to be busy. Right? You can be successful without going into that hustle culture, because in the kingdom, effort and hustle doesn't to produce increase. Obedience does. Okay? In Genesis 26, Isaac sowed in a famine, and he still reaped 100-fold. Somebody say 100-fold. We didn't say tenfold. It said he reaped 100-fold, not because the ground was good. Hear me well, but because God told him to sow there. What is that, you guys? That is obedience. And what obedience does is it puts you in position to receive. It puts you in position to receive God's miracles that he already had in store for you before you even got here. Lean into it, right? Some of y'all are sowing in places that God never told you to. You're doing the right thing, but you're doing it in the wrong place. If you're realizing that in your spirit in this moment, I don't want that to continue to be you. You know, before this video, you didn't know that. But now that I'm sharing it with you, don't let that continue to be you. You can't pray for overflow while walking in disobedience, because favor flows strictly where obedience goes. Let me say that again. Favor flows strictly where obedience goes. There was a time when I had delayed a launch. You know, you guys know I'm a coach and I coach coaches. I delayed a launch of a program that God told me to release, and I delayed it because I thought I wasn't ready. It wasn't all packaged and wrapped up with a pretty bow and all the things that we think, as we step into perfection. It's time to step out of perfection. I'd waited for months. I waited for too long, and it was out of alignment. I was misaligned. It was because I wanted to be perfect. But when I finally let go of the perfection and I just moved on it, that's when everything came together. That's when the overflow started. So I want you to ask yourself, what's the last thing that God told you to do that you still are sitting on, that you still haven't done yet? Because you know what that's called? That's called disobedience. Write it down. Then this week, I want you to move on it. Not next month, not next year, not I don't have time, all those things we tell ourselves. I want you to move on that this week. Let's get it. Takeaway number 3 is multiplication follows from movement. Multiplication follows from movement. So here's the third and final key. That multiplication, yes, it follows from movement. But what this means is God doesn't multiply what you're thinking about. He multiplies what you're actually doing, right? He needs to come and find you working. When you put your prayers out there, it's not to pray and say, okay, he's going to come. We think he's going to knock on your door and he's going to pick you up in a white Rolls Royce. That's not what happens. You can put your prayers out there, but you have to be found working. Remember the widow in 2 Kings and 4? Elijah told her to gather her empty jars, and she didn't see the miracle until she moved her feet. He told her, take what you have, gather your jars. But she didn't just sit there. She had to move her feet. That's when she saw the miracles, right? The oil didn't flow before she borrowed the jar. She was reluctant to borrow, right? But the oil did not flow until she borrowed the jars. And because she did, that's when the miracle happened. That's when it began to flow. And she poured the oil, and the oil poured and poured and poured. It looked like there was only room for one to fill one jar. Y'all, she filled so many jars. But here's the thing: so many people, so many of you guys are praying for clarity, but you're not moving. You're waiting for confirmation, but you're ignoring the last instruction that God already gave you. You want a platform, but you haven't stewarded the 5 people that are already following you. Oh, I need a big following. You don't. Steward the 5 people that are following you. You want a book deal, but you haven't opened up a Google Doc and started writing. Is that you? Do you know what you need to do now? This is what I want you to reflect on. What do you already have that you have been overlooking? Maybe it was unintentional. We're not going to judge it. But what do you already have that you've been overlooking? That talent, that testimony, that training that you went through, all those trainings and all those journals with all the notes in them. It's time to take that and start. It does not have to be perfect, but it does have to be in motion. So here's your takeaways. Remember, assignment before ambition. Obedience comes from movement. That's where you get the outcome. And movement comes before multiplication. All right. If this has served you, I want you to share it out with your community. But remember, don't just share it out. You have to do it too. This isn't just a spiritual talk. It's a system. It's an understanding. It is a process. It is a beingness. It is a divine blueprint that has been proven again and again and again because it's right here and it still works. So if you're the person that you are tired of doing all the right things and you're still weren't seeing results, it might be time to stop striving and start surrendering. Stop striving and start surrendering because God's success formula hasn't changed. Maybe you were just ignoring that it already existed. It was already there. But when you align your life with his strategy, you don't have to chase favor because it starts chasing you.